You have finished dinner. The plate is empty, your stomach feels stretched, and another bite of the same pasta sounds almost insulting. Then someone offers cake. Suddenly, eating more feels completely possible. That does not mean your body opened a secret dessert compartment. There is no second stomach hiding behind the first one. Fullness is not a single off switch. Your stomach reports physical load. Stretch and nutrient signals help your brain decide that the meal has been enough. But your brain also updates the reward value of specific foods. As pasta repeats bite after bite, its smell, flavor, and texture become less interesting. Scientists call this sensory-specific satiety. The message can become, enough pasta, not, every food is worthless. Cake changes the sensory problem. Sweet instead of savory, cool instead of hot, or creamy instead of chewy. That contrast can preserve more reward while the stomach remains full. So dessert does not fit because your stomach forgot dinner. It wins because it is different. I am full describes body load. I want that describes the current value of one food. Both can be true. But how specific is that second signal? In a classic experiment, 32 people rated 8 foods, ate one of them for lunch, then rated all 8 again. The pleasantness of the food they had eaten fell much more than the pleasantness of foods they had not eaten. A second group did the same thing, then received an unexpected second course. What they chose matched the shift in liking. They were not simply hungry again. Their appetite had changed shape. Technically, this effect helps end eating in the current moment. So some researchers prefer the term sensory-specific satiation. The old name survived. The useful idea is simple. Repetition lowers the value of this food faster than it lowers the value of every possible food. Your senses do not file dinner under one label called food. They track taste, smell, temperature, texture, appearance, and the way a bite feels in the mouth. Experiments have found food-specific declines for sweet versus salty foods, and smaller effects for hard versus soft textures. In another study, serving different pasta shapes increased intake by 14%. Changing sandwich flavors increased it by 15%. But color alone was not enough to make people eat more chocolate. Difference works best when it changes the experience of eating, not merely the packaging. This is why dessert is such an effective contrast. A warm, salty, chewy main course can be followed by something cool, sweet, creamy, crisp, or all four at once. Now scale that contrast from one dessert to a buffet. Every new dish gives the reward system a fresh comparison. The first food is losing ground, but the next food has not been repeated yet. Across controlled meal studies, greater variety generally increases how much people eat. The effect is not identical for every food or every person, and changing one tiny feature may do little. But when taste, smell, texture, and appearance change together, stopping can be delayed. That can be useful. Variety may encourage someone to eat more vegetables. It can also make a table of rich foods surprisingly easy to continue sampling. The mechanism does not know whether the new option is broccoli or cheesecake. None of this makes physical fullness imaginary. Your stomach expands to receive a meal, and its filling and emptying contribute to pressure, comfort, and meal termination. Nutrient signals from the gut also keep accumulating. But every day I am full usually means I have enough reason to stop, not one more gram is anatomically impossible. A small dessert may remain physically tolerable even when another full plate does not. And a few minutes of conversation matters. The stomach is not a rigid box. The meal is moving, and the decision to continue is being updated while the cake sits in view. Dessert also tends to be highly palatable, familiar, and expected. Seeing it can raise desire before the first bite. In experiments, people who had already eaten to satiety still ate pizza or ice cream when it appeared, and a brief taste could increase intake of that particular food. This is sometimes described as eating for reward rather than energy. But it is not one dopamine button defeating the body. Liking, wanting, learned expectation, social context, and physical fullness interact. And sweetness is not a universal key. After a sweet meal, desire for other sweet foods can fall too. If dinner was already cold, creamy, and sugary, a similar dessert may feel less miraculous. The strongest advantage is often contrast plus palatability, not sugar alone. So when the cake arrives, dinner still counts. The stomach is still carrying the meal. Its signals did not fail. What changed is the value of the next bite. Pasta has been repeated. Cake is sensory news. The serving is smaller, the cues are strong, and the new experience has not had time to become boring. There is no secret room for dessert. There are several systems voting on whether eating should continue, and they do not always reach the same conclusion at the same moment. I am full can be true. I want that can also be true. Dessert lives in the gap between them.